All right, so so it started. Just I'm gonna drop out. Call me if you need to, Deb. I can make you the host too if you want, versus
Okay.
co-host. That way you have a little more.
Um, yeah, do the office one.
Yeah. All right, call me if you need to. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so ready to start? Yeah. Hello and welcome to Bronx Community Board 11's Parks Committee meeting. Today is May 11th, 2023, and the time now is 7:05, and the Parks meeting is now starting. My name is Debbie Kowalik, and I'm the co-host, and we got Janice Walcott. Yeah, we got Janice Walcott here, who's the chair. All right, you ready? Okay. We're reviewing of the meeting minutes. I'm looking around online. It seems that the wrong minutes were posted. That what the meeting minutes that were posted was from Zimmerman's. But last month's meeting was pertaining with the Pelham Parkway Plaza project. Say that 10 times fast. Hold on, let me stop sharing this screen. Let's start sharing. Bear with me a second. The Pelham Parkway Plaza project. This is what was discussed last month. And we were having a bit of a discussion. Oh, that was you.
Just checking that the link works.
Let me see.
Sorry.
Okay. The Pelham Parkway Plaza project, we seem to have an issue between Site A and Site B. Where we as Parks Committee, we're fine with Site B, but we're not exactly fine with Site A because we've heard vast input from people in the community that stuff in Site A is not exactly what we as the community want or need. And so we are in a bit of an opposition to Site A, but we do agree with Site B. If they would listen to the community and actually just fix the pathway, that we would be a whole lot happier with. I don't know if anybody has seen the presentation. I know it was on one of the pages on Community Board 11. And let me see. Let's see if I could share my screen. we have Site A, which is the west end of Pelham Parkway, and there's Site B, which is over by Jacoby Hospital. We seem to be fine with the plans that are by Jacoby Hospital. The plans by Site A, we're not happy with. They want to do too much restructuring, and it's not what the community wants or feels they need. They want to keep their seats, the benches in the shaded area, away from the children that would be playing. They want to keep the green space that's existing there for the children to be playing in. So if they would just save the money and ditch Site A and fix the Parkway path, that would be a whole lot better, because as long as I've ever known it, in at least the past 20 years, there are severe potholes and safety concerns along the pathway of Pelham Parkway. Let me see what else we where. Let's see. Yeah, here is one of the areas that they want to be redoing that we're not happy with. But they even admit in their presentation that the pathway is in poor condition, so they just really need to fix the pathway.
Eliminate the pothole.
And eliminate the potholes, yes, because whether you're walking, wheelchair, on a kid on learning on their bike and stuff like that, it is a great safety concern, and especially at night, it's not very well lit, and you're not going to see a lot of these potholes. So
You can do that now.
yeah.
You can fix those potholes now.
Yeah.
Okay, and the existing area that where the seniors are, if they're happy with it, continue that. If the children need an area, then you give them that, but right now, you would move forward on that, but you can now fix those potholes, which is a danger to anyone using the area.
Okay. So, and we're gonna do the gallery session, and speakers will have 2 minutes to speak uninterrupted. We have one member of the public here, and we will call her first because she's present here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, this is Roxanne Delgado, founder of Friends of Pelham Parkway, founded in 2017 in June. And we've been very active in preserving and caring for Parkway and safety-wise, environmental-wise, providing programming for children. And this was done with no money. But I'll progress. Not only do I agree with the board, Community Board 11 Parks Committee, but I also agree with the input that the community Parks collected, over 80 community members and 100 comments. All those over 50% overwhelmingly said they want less pavement, more trees, to maintain the greenery, to maintain the landscape. So unfortunately, for some reason, they're trying to create another pathway, another asphalt on Pelham Parkway North from Wallace to Williamsbridge, up between 18 inches. And that's right in the middle of the greenway where kids play their soccer games, where kids are very active. And what's funny is that Park said that the reason why they want to move the benches on the south side is because they want to listen to the community and have less pavement and more greenery. But yet on the north side, they do the opposite. They actually take away greenery and putting more pavement. The pathway currently is accessible to bikes and pedestrians. The only issue with that pathway currently is all the potholes. constantly we have, especially when it rains, people cannot use the pathway. But to add more asphalt, more pavement, additional pathway on the Pelham Parkway North to Williamsbridge, which somehow targets low-income people, targets NYCHA residents, target undocumented, who don't have the money to go out of town to vacation. Pelham Parkway Parkway is their vacation. They go to play soccer. To have a pathway in the middle of the field where the kids play soccer, I think this is not right for the community. And I plead with the committee, and I did gather almost 100 signatures just this Saturday, 2 hours. And I will continue gathering signatures to show that the community does not support this additional pathway. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody, wait, hold on, let me just readjust this. Okay, is there anybody online that wishes to see Slater? I see your hand first.
Yeah, hi. Good evening. This is Charlene. I'm on the south side of the Parkway. One of the things that I think I agree with you with is that where the gentlemen sit and they play chess, where the older people,
Yes.
they gather, that's important
Yes.
to them. I don't sit out there, but I see them sitting out there all the time and they don't bother anybody. I think that should stay the way it is. Even though we say we want more greenery, yes, but leave that as it is. Let's not disrupt our elderly's, routine. The other thing is the extra strip of asphalt. I just don't get it. Like if we could go back to them and ask them why they think this is necessary, and I just don't understand why they would put that there. But that's it. That's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Charlene, we agree with you.
Is there anybody else that wishes to speak?
Yes, this is Ed Murphy from Pelham Parkway South. If anything, the roadway on our side is in desperate need of repaving the existing pavement, not to add, or subtract, but that pavement has been in bad condition for the last 15 years that I know of. Between the branches lifting up the pavement and potholes, just like on the north side, use the funds to fix what we have already. We don't need any more pavements, more greenery, and fix what we have.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Diana Finch, I see your hand raised.
Sure. I'm a little confused about exactly which areas we're talking about, and is the pathway that we say we don't like the east-west pathway on the north side. It was very hard to see the design the first time it was presented.
Hold on one second. Which page was that?
Well, I have it now from an
20
email from Jeremy, but
Go to page 26 then, if you got the
it was
email.
very hard to see. It was very hard to see at the first meeting, and there was so much information. So it was hard to, be able to ask the right questions of the Parks
Right.
Department. But I would say that the east-west pathway on the north side, if in order to widen it and not have it interfere with the trees, they're going to move some of it a little further into the middle of the mall. I think that's an acceptable trade-off, because the problem now is that it's so narrow in certain places. It's so narrow that people have made a desire path along it. And it's so narrow that it puts the cyclists and the pedestrians in conflict with each other. I think it really needs to be widened. And I didn't see in their diagram that they were going to end up with fewer trees, because yes, there were a few trees that were removing, but then they were adding trees as well. I did have a question about the north-south pathways across, because I think there's one particularly at Wallace where people on bicycles use it to cut across, and they're kind of in conflict with the people sitting on the benches on either side. And the new design didn't seem to separate the cyclists from the people on the benches and the kids playing in the pathway. So I would want to ask them to look at that again, because people are going to continue to cross over on bicycles and scooters in that area. I don't think you're going to be able to prevent them from doing that. Maybe they shouldn't be doing it, but they're not going to ride all the way down to Williamsbridge Road and all the way back. Just going to cut right across.
Okay.
So, but I think we need to ask them, why are you making the pathway wider, and why are you moving it in certain areas further inside the mall, if in fact they're doing that? It wasn't 100% clear to me that they were from these diagrams. I wish we could have a walkthrough.
Yeah. I mean, it would be a long walkthrough because it's over a mile.
It would, but how else are you going to, or we could do 2 walkthroughs, one focusing on site A and the other focusing on site B.
Right. But like we've said, we are not happy with their plans for site A.
Right.
We'd much rather that
And what
them,
exactly is it that you don't like about their plans for site A, which is site A is the Wallace Avenue?
It's on Fairbanks, I think it's, yeah, and I'm friends with Palm Parkway, because she's Palm Parkway is.
I'm sorry, I wasn't watching the time because the gentleman was coming in. Okay.
Okay.
I'm
All right.
sorry. Is there any way that you all might be giving out certain blueprints to people? Because I wasn't able to make the last meeting either. I was in Brooklyn, so by the time I got back, it was a little late.
If you, excuse me, if you email Jeremy or anybody in the office tomorrow, I'm not sure exactly who's in the office tomorrow. If you email them, they can email you back the presentation, which is kind of what you're calling a blueprint. Because I realize you're calling in on a phone, so you can't see what we have up on the screen.
Yeah.
So,
That's wonderful. I'll definitely do that
tomorrow.
because they have, definitely. I have one more thing. So, like she was saying about the pathways in the green area and also here on Wallace Avenue. Now, she's actually right about how they had like dug a little path so that the cyclists can ride through, so people aren't bumping into each other. That is actually true. And then here on Wallace Avenue on the north end with the walkways, those have been a problem. A lot of people have fallen. I've even fallen out there a couple of times, like falling with the shopping cart, like, straight head over. That has happened a few times since I've lived here. Also, I wanted to know about the flooding. Now, that flooding kind of gets a little bad sometimes. Will they when they work on the pathways, such as here inside the cul-de-sac, will that be helping with each site agreement that has to do with flooding alone? Are they going to start with just the pathways so the elders and things can walk, and then would they go after over to the green side?
Yeah, I don't recall what they said about the flooding. I kind of,
They said no flood.
yeah, right. They're
Not
kind of in
accurate.
denial that
Yeah.
there's any flood zone.
Exactly.
And
Why they're in denial?
yeah,
That's funny.
I remember pointing out the flood zone to them that's by area B. And
They
they're,
denied it.
yeah.
So it's like he has flood.
Okay.
We have a waiting hearing.
Yeah, I need to, yeah, we gotta try to get this back to being organized.
Yeah,
I'm
'cause those
sorry.
floods,
I'm
let me
trying
tell
to
you,
do.
when it rains, it's impeculiar. Sometimes I have to watch what shoes
Ma'am,
I put on, what boots.
Hello?
You're 2 minutes
Yes.
up.
Yeah, it's a 2 minute, we're trying to adhere to a 2 minute gallery per person.
Okay.
And this is starting to lose control a little bit here, and it's hard for me to do everything. So I'm trying to be as patient as we're going on, but we do need to try to adhere to the 2 minute ruling
Okay,
here.
Tell her.
Huh,
you,
okay.
Call the office
Yeah,
tomorrow.
so call the office tomorrow and you can get the plans sent,
Email to her.
email to you
Mhm.
from whoever's in the office tomorrow that can send you the presentation. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Harry, did you have anything to speak upon on this matter?
Negative. Thank you. I have nothing to say.
Okay. Cynthia, oh, okay. The names are like bopping around here.
All right, Debbie, I'm good. I just logged in a little late. Thanks.
Okay, yeah, and I just want to make sure I at least get people that are on the board.
Thank you.
Okay.
2 minutes.
Is there anybody else who wants to speak for during this gallery session? Ali or Ali?
Yes, Ali, thank you so much. Yeah, I'll keep it brief because I think a lot of what I wanted to say was said by the first caller. Just want to emphasize that I don't think these plans are a good idea overall, and wondering what we can do to resist. What types of actions can we take as neighbors? I'm hoping we can get to that. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
So she can add to the.
Yeah. Yeah.
Friends of Palm Parkway.
Friends of- list.
Bob Press, you raised your hand?
Yes, Debbie. The Parks Department technically can't go ahead without the community board approval. So if you don't like Plan A, you could have them adjust it to whatever you want. All right, I'm going from past experience when I was on Community Board 8 with the Putnam Greenway. They proposed a 6-foot path for bikes and 3-foot for pedestrians. We said that's not wide enough. We wanted more room for pedestrians to walk because the bicycles will, interfere with the pedestrians. And you can say what you want to the Parks Department. We wound up getting 6 feet for bikes and then 3 feet on each side for pedestrians, or a 12-foot pathway. Yes, it sometimes will take out a tree or two, but we had enough room in Van Cortlandt Park that we didn't really lose any real trees. It was just, dead trees, and we had wetlands over there. But again, the Parks Department has to listen to the community board. If the community board wants to change something, they have to listen to the community board. That's what I want to say. But one more thing, with Bronx Park East, I think you should look at that pathway too, because you have pedestrians and bikes there, and that's narrow. I think that maybe there should be a bike path on Bronx Park East instead of having it inside the park, because that's something that's really not heard of, since it's a very narrow path. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have two gentlemen that have arrived.
Wayne.
Would you like to speak?
I just,
But never you express your concern to me on the phone, you can tell them. It's basically the same thing I said earlier.
Yeah.
About the benches and about the pathway losing greenery.
right, I pretty much agree with that.
Can you sign in, please?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just tell it from the record that you don't
Yeah.
support moving the benches and you don't want any more pathway. Because
But
otherwise,
yeah, if you just
just for the record.
yeah, just for the record, if you just, because even though we're not sitting here filming you, we are, this is being recorded. So can, if you just want to state what you want to state.
Yeah, I would like to see
Your
Lucid
name?
Greenery or,
Your name?
Wayne Dewar,
Okay.
reside on Holland Avenue in Pelham Parkway North. Just feel like that might be overwhelming the community. I mean, I'm all for improvement, but not taking away trees and certain things that's not conducive to the neighborhood.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gentlemen?
Do you wish? Do you wish?
I don't think we could hear what he was saying.
You could repeat
Okay, you gotta repeat that.
He basically, I'm sorry, he's has a very low toned voice. He was basically reiterating a lot of the stuff that everybody else has said, that basically to leave it be, don't take away the trees, leave the stuff be the way it is.
Widen the path
And widening the path.
and fix the pothole.
Yeah, and fix the puddles. And you said no? Okay.
Yeah, it's the
Sorry,
same thing.
sorry.
I'm not gonna stand up there and repeat the same thing.
Okay.
John is supporting Friends Park with staff that we want to keep the greenery for the Pelham Parkway North because kids play soccer and that's the only place they have to play. Why take away? They keep taking away from outside, like they don't like the people in Night or something.
Don't worry about that.
It's like I don't know why they hate us so much.
Okay, all right, so who? DV, do you wish to speak? Yes, not. Jonathan Castillo, do you wish to speak? Kay Cardona, do you wish to speak? DV, I see your hand now.
I didn't see the plan.
Yes, thank you so much. Good evening. I have a question because, like I said, I missed the first, like the intro, and I'm not familiar now that you're talking about pathways. If the pathway that leads to the new or old 12 bus local bus stop is something that's going to be addressed because the pathway, like it's because people have chosen to walk on that versus walking on the sidewalk, like the grass has been impacted. So is that something that you folks have talked about in the past? This is my first meeting, so I'm not aware.
Basically, we were saying that they should rehab or fix, however you want to phrase it, the existing east-west pathway that runs from White Plains Road all the way down to Stillwell Avenue. We wish for them to fix that pathway, rehab it. Don't really change it or anything. Just that we need the potholes fixed. Maybe level out some areas and such like that. But don't, we're not really asking for much of a change of that. The section, the B section, which is what they're proposing for near Jacoby, we are fine with them doing that plan, because that would make that area more handicap accessible for those that would be going to and from Jacoby and say the westbound 12 bus, and it would make it a whole lot easier than trying to go literally climb a mountainous rock, which is not safe and not handicap accessible. So like I said, we're fine with them doing the B section, but we are not fine with them doing the A section. Anything else? Okay. Okay. Ephraim, do you wish to speak?
Good evening, everyone. Real brief. The accessibility for the community in Part A is a concern because there's going to be a lot of people, probably more, using that. Of course, the east-west and part B, is a little different type of approach. My concern is that the Parks Department listen to the people that actually live there. And I know that we do that through the community
I
board,
don't
but I
mean to,
really.
Ephraim, I don't mean to interrupt. Ephraim, I don't mean to
Yes.
interrupt you, but do you have a TV or something going on behind you? Because we're getting a lot of background noise and we're not hearing you quite clearly.
Hold on. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so what I wanted to say is that the part A, it has to be done very, very strategically and to take into account least inconvenience for the community, because the people that use that park area, they're not asking for major sweeping changes. And that's the feedback that I have. Now, I was on a taxi the other day and I was going through and I saw a lot of people on a pasture on the north side, right before White Plains Road. And I believe that if repairing it and making the handicap accessible is probably the most important thing, other than tearing down trees. I believe that they have to be creative in this approach, and going forward, I want to be part of this discussion. And if there is a walkthrough, please inform me.
Thank you. Okay, it seems to be it, if anybody wanting to speak in the gallery. So we're moving on, we're closing the gallery session and we're moving on to motions. And I make a motion that we send a letter of opposition to the Parks Department opposing Section A. And and to show support for Section B. We also would like to add for them to rehabilitate the existing east-west pathway that's on Pelham Parkway South.
And eliminate the potholes.
And eliminate, yeah, to eliminate the potholes.
Okay, 'cause summer's coming, and we don't need anybody falling.
Well, that's in the opposition, yeah, we don't want any benches moved, that's part of the opposition of the opposition of Section A. Yeah, no, just to rehab the existing pathway, not an additional pathway. Okay, so I make that motion.
I second it. Yeah.
Janice seconds it.
Who
We're the
second-
only
who
ones
second-
here of the committee, so.
Who seconded
Janice Walcott.
Okay.
She's yeah, because it's only Janice and I of Parks Committee here, so it's,
Thank you.
Okay, now, we're moving on to old business. So old business does not have to even pertain to Pelham Parkway. It could be any other parks area within the confines of CB11. Diana, I see your hand raised.
Yes, an update on Zimmerman. I saw Richie Torres, the congressperson for the area at the Bronx River Flotilla, and asked him about what he was doing to try to get federal funding to get the restrooms redone there. And he said that the big problem is that any money that is federally allocated needs to be commissioned within a year of the date that the federal government allocates it. And in his experience, the Parks Department and the City of New York, not just the Parks Department, take longer than a year to commission the money. So that's the big holdup there. And if there's a way we can figure out a workaround to get them in this instance to move more quickly. Because if that's all that's standing in the way of federal money, that's kind of a shame. Also, we've met with our new Parks Area Director, Felix Rodriguez. And we've asked for more trash cans because there's a real shortage of trash cans all through Bronx Park, along Bronx Park East, and in the area of Pelham Parkway Mall that's between Boston Road and Bronx Park East. We've asked them to open the bathrooms later, starting earlier, and especially for Memorial Day weekend, so that they're not closing all the bathrooms in all the parks like at 5 o'clock, because so many people are going to be out late in the park on Memorial Day weekend. So we'd really like support, and this is for all the parks, not just Bronx Park East. And I think those are the main things. The Zimmerman funding and the trash cans and bathrooms.
All right.
In all
Thank
the
you.
parks.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
The community board ask for those things.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you. Hey, Cadona, I see a question in the chat. I did not read the latest DDC thing pertaining to the staging area, so I don't know what's going on with that. But when they are done, they are supposed to put it back basically the way they found it, because that plaza was redone just before the construction project had started. So when they are done, they need to put that back the way they found it. What's her name? You can maybe, Joanna Rojas. You can reach out to her. She's for the DVC. She's responsible for the Pelham Parkway project. Anybody else old business parks related? Harry? Cynthia?
Nope, I'm good, thank you.
Okay.
Nope, I'm good. Thank you. Thank you.
Any new business? Oh, sorry. I apologize.
Yeah, I just like to reiterate that people mentioned conflicts on the pedestrian. There's no conflict between pedestrians and bikes. The conflict is the illegal mopeds and the motorcycles are endangering pedestrians and children. And that's why we cannot have additional pathway and why we need enforcement. We need enforcement in Pelham Parkway. There's never enforcement. And unfortunately, 49 precinct is overwhelmed with the crime because it's summer. So we have to minimize problems, creating problems, and we have enforcement. We need enforcement because Pelham Parkway, people don't realize because people just don't live nearby. They just stroll through it. They live in Bronx Park East. They live in Morris Park. But I, Wayne, and others live in that area. I live right across the street on Holland. I'm there from morning to night, and I see what goes on, and it impacts the community. It doesn't impact someone that lives in Bronx Park East and doesn't care for our own park in Bronx Park East. People like myself, we care for Pelham Park. 7 years of cleaning Pelham Parkway, 7 years of doing events, 7 years of education, 7 years of giving doggy bags. 2 minutes. Our community should have a say in our own parkway. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Thank you.
Roxanne, please don't malign Bronx Park.
Excuse me, we're not having any cross conversation, please. Thank you. Is there anybody for new business? Anybody for new business that's parks related? Again, Harry, Cynthia, because you guys are board members.
No, Diana has her hand up.
I'm good, Debbie, thank you.
I think her hand was still up from before, so, okay, okay, then, do you guys have any parks related,
New issues.
new issues?
Not right now.
Okay. All right.
It's a new barbecue signs to replace in Pelham Parkway North. Most of them are either gone or missing. The posts are still there, but not the signage.
Yeah.
That's a good one, 'cause they shouldn't be.
Yeah, those disappear real quick.
So if they can
Okay.
replace them before summer starts, before July 4th, that'd be awesome.
Okay, all right, so being that we're done with old business and we're done with new business, I guess we're done with this meeting then. What?
It's 7:45.
Yeah. So it's 7:45 and we are gonna
Okay.
close out this meeting. Thank you, everybody, for participating.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
I moved that the
Good
meeting is
night.
adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Have a good night.
You also, everyone.
Night.
We had a few minutes on Parkway. That's right on Holland.